Alright, welcome back, guys. I don't know if I've been to this area before. I might have gotten here once. And then gotten
Yeah, definitely been here.
You've definitely been here. I don't know if I've been
Yeah, this is the ramparts.
This is the area before the ball. Oh!
Yeah,
that green guy... No, I haven't. That green guy was hiding in there.
I thought for sure you fought the boss.
Nope. I do not believe I've faced the boss yet. And if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below.
I'm pretty sure.
Cool. But, yeah, sorry about my governor rant there last time. Man, he was such a good character. Him and Merle. And they fucking both die.
I liked Merle just because he was, like, the only character that they went crazy with. Like, you know, he's gonna be a fucking racist.
Yeah.
He's gonna be a piece of shit. He's gonna pick fights with everybody. Not that, like, that's a good guy to be, but you kind of need that guy in a show at some point.
Yeah, I know. Like,
especially if you're going for, like, a drama type thing.
I was gonna say, like, one thing I feel like George R.R. Martin gets right a lot in his writing with Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Is like... Ooh, there I go, getting killed. When people are monsters because of society.
Yeah.
Like, the Mountain, Gregor Clegane, it's like, hey, he was raised in a world where if you're a knight and you ride around killing people, you're a hero and women will throw themselves at you. Are you surprised he murders and rapes all the time?
Yeah.
Like... Because that's what he expects. He's like, hey, I came into this place, I killed these two guys, this lady probably wants to fuck me, just bends her over the table and rapes her. And everyone's like, this dude's a monster, and in his mind, he's like, no, I'm a knight. And I feel like Merle's kind of like the same thing, like when Merle's like, to Rick, he's like, when he's being racist, like with the T-Dog thing,
yeah.
He's like, you're gonna risk our lives for this black guy? And Rick's like, yeah, absolutely, he's a fucking human being. And Merle's like, huh? Like, it's just, yeah, no, like, the way he was raised, and the way he was... either taught or the way he just viewed society around him is the reason he's a monster. And it's not society's fault he's a monster. Like, isn't that your turret gun?
No, maybe, but I think it's shit.
Yeah, no, yeah. Merle was an interesting character for that. I don't mind in any series when a character realizes they're a monster, because I always find that's a cool way to be for a show.
Yeah.
Yeah, like have you ever seen the Angel in Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No.
He's a little too mopey and angsty, but he's basically like, look, I was so horrible and so like monstrous that my curse is that I have a soul, so I can feel guilty about what I did. And so he's just one of those characters where it's like, hey, like, here is like the goblet of eternal happiness. Do you want it? And he's like, no. I don't deserve it. I know I'm a shithead.
Wow.
So it's just cool when characters like that. Because Merle was kind of like, hey, you know, I could stay with Rick. I could probably survive. I'd be with my brother. But he's like, but I'm not a good person, so I don't deserve that happiness. And my brother's better off without me. So he just goes off on like a suicide mission.
You know what sucks? There's an update on my computer.
Yeah.
That's not going to show up on the capture.
Right.
But I can't see the fucking map.
That is very true.
This sucks. Oh, great.
I'm sure you could have found the entrance to the other place somewhere else.
Well, you know me.
Yeah.
3. Yeah. I didn't fucking put a lot of help in that one.
You didn't explore as much as I did.
Oh. Right.
Yeah, you didn't get hit.
Fuck, I keep pressing all the wrong buttons.
Ugh. How's the Negan stuff going in The Walking Dead?
They're finally fighting. Oh! Okay, I wanted to jump. Really? That fucking... I don't know what it is.
You killed something.
Whoa. I really didn't think I could jump that. Yeah, that little, whatever the fuck. Yeah, like this season, they finally... Oh, great.
Yeah.
Went to, like, them to try to fight.
Right.
And it's like... Oh, I was like, okay. good, but you know that should have happened last season.
Yeah.
God fucking damn it.
So one thing I'm a little I don't know why you like coming here. One thing I'm a little worried about. I read ahead of the show right now
Okay.
into the comic books,
Sure.
and as the series has gone on, they've been more and more faithful to the comics.
Okay.
Like in the beginning, like Daryl and Merle and T-Dog were not characters in the
Yeah.
and like in the comic, Shane dies in like chapter 1 or 2,
Yeah.
whereas he lasts for so long in the show. Which is cool. Like I like those changes because when I was reading the comics, I was like, it's the same story, but it's not. Like it's so different. It's kind of like
change it up a bit.
like I read the Song of Ice and Fire books and then I watched Game of Thrones and I'm like, this is completely different. Like the reasons characters do stuff, like their motivation changes, which then changes next season because it's like, hey, it's not
I forgot about that.
that was a terrible
I
way.
thought those were fucking like hunks of meat. I
I
tried to eat them.
I remembered they would explode. I just
Yeah.
was mid sentence about something else, so I wasn't able to yell dodge. But it's like, yeah, sorry, like the show, like the Game of Thrones show, it's like, okay, we changed the character motivation for why he did something that he does do in the books, but that makes him a different person and he acts different for the rest of the series because
Yeah.
his motivations changed, and it's just it's cool. It's like you get to experience two stories that are similar and pretty different, and I guess you can call that fan fiction if you want.
Sure.
But
yeah.
so I like the Game of Thrones show, I like the books, and they're so different at this point that I can't even like consider them the same story. And I was kind of hoping The Walking Dead would do that, but it's gotten more and more accurate, I guess, to the comics, which is probably good for like the real fans because I'm not that big of a fan of The Walking Dead comics or show. But oh, I'm so fucked in this corner. What was I gonna say? Oh, I'm just worried that they're gonna get more and more like the comics as it goes on, because I do not like what's happening in the comics currently.
Oh,
Yeah. I do not think it's interesting.
yeah? No?
No.
I'm losing interest now. Like,
Yeah. Oh yeah, I stopped watching.
the shit that's going on now, I'm like, this should have been last season.
Yeah.
Not 5 fucking episodes of Carol's non-feelings while she's repressing them
Yeah.
and acting like she doesn't have them.
I didn't watch any of last season of Walking Dead. Season 7 was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of it.
Yeah, there's
I-
not much.
The big Glenn moment, didn't watch it.
Yeah.
Well, I watched it on YouTube, but I didn't watch the show.
Yeah, even that was... Because of how season 6 ended
Yeah.
with that cliffhanger, when he died,
Oh
I
my-
don't care. Like,
That's the worst cliffhanger.
I've been bored for 7 months.
Yeah.
Because you guys tried to blue ball me on it, but all this let me down.
Yeah.
I don't fucking care that Glenn's dead.
No, that was the worst cliffhanger I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like, and I love cliffhangers.
Dude?
I think cliffhangers are really good ways to spark your imagination.
Oh, okay.
Like,
That's
spoilers for Song of Ice and Fire up to A Dance with Dragons. Book 5 of Song of Ice and Fire ends with my favorite character. He's in a camp. They're snowed in. The camp that they're in is like a shitty little city with like maybe 3 or 4 buildings.
Okay.
You know, but he doesn't know that. I think it's probably like 8-9% of his army is planning on betraying him.
Oh, shit.
I'm gonna buy the hammer. Yeah, the Karstark forces are planning on betraying him. They're actually revealing his location to the enemies, like as they speak. They're sending like notes out saying like, oh yeah, we have reinforcements coming and we're sending them directions. But no, they're sending his location and his defenses. His army is made up of different religious groups and different people from all over the land. So they're not really like, his army doesn't really get along too well.
Yeah.
They're always like fucking bickering and fighting, and they believe in different gods, and they're like, oh, we have to pray to R'hllor to save us. It's like, no, the tree gods will save us, and it's like, no, what the fuck? Like, and he doesn't believe in any religion, so he's like, no, you're all retarded, like, shut up. And he's basically, this enemy force is coming to destroy him, and you're like, oh my god, like, how the fuck is he gonna get out of it? And the book ends, like, you don't get to see the battle.
Oh, wow.
And the character Jon Snow gets a note like near the end of the book,
Sure.
where the guy's like, well, it's Ramsay Snow. He's like, I killed Stannis. I want my reek back. I want you to hand over his wife and daughter, or I will come and destroy you too. And he's like, and like he specifically says, I killed Stannis after 3 days of battle. But you're like, no, like Stannis' army's too small. Like you would destroy him, or you would lose. Like it's one or the other. Like what is it? It's pretty much, it would be like an army of like, I might be getting the numbers completely wrong here, but just for the sake of it, it'd be like 3,000 versus 700.
Okay.
Like,
yeah.
And like the city that he's in has one wall. Like it's not like a siege where you can hold out for days. It's like no. Like he'd either get destroyed in a few hours, or he has some trick that would like decimate the enemy kind of thing, right?
Sure.
So it leaves you thinking, but that's how it ends. Like that's the cliffhanger. It's kind of like, you know how screwed Stannis is, you know how powerful his enemies are, and then Jon gets a note where this guy's like, oh yeah, I completely fucking destroyed Stannis. It took this long. This was how big the fight was. And you're like, no, like I know what Stannis' forces are. That couldn't have been the fight. You're lying. The fight hasn't happened yet.
Okay.
And but it leaves you just with that whole. And I feel like that's a good cliffhanger.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. Of like, you do not know the fate of either of these characters. Like clearly they're both alive.
Yeah.
But they're going to fight, and you're gonna have to wait till like the next book, which has taken like 5 years to get to that fight. I'm not really rocking with it too much, so let's switch to.
Sucks.
Yeah. Another good cliffhanger. Are you caught up on Better Call Saul now?
Nope. No.
You watched season 2 though, right? Ends with the car horn.
Yeah.
That's a good cliffhanger.
Yeah, that one.
That's a good cliffhanger. Season 3 is a better cliffhanger. I don't want to spoil it for anyone, including you. I know more people gotta watch Better Call Saul, man.
Yeah.
That show is so good. The
thing that sucks with
I'm about
those
to piss
shows,
everyone off. It's better than Breaking Bad.
The thing that sucks with those shows is I want more people to watch them so they get another season.
Yeah. Oh, geez.
But it takes fucking 3 years from the film.
Yeah.
That sucks.
Season 3 came out within a year of season 2.
Did it?
Nice, yeah. I don't mind also when they take their time to do.
No, I don't
to
mind.
do the show right.
It's gonna be built up.
Yeah, that's
the problem. Like imagine Game of Thrones, like whatever season they're on now, the next one's not gonna be out for 2 years.
That might be the case.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Dave and Dan are so fucking weird. They want to. Yeah, they're the showrunners.
Oh.
They want it to be as authentic as possible, and because it's now winter in the show, they want to wait to film it in winter. So they're pushing their filming schedule back
months
because they want to wait for.
Shit.
Yeah, I don't know. They're weird.
Yeah, you can just fake it.
Yeah. Yeah, they're.
You don't
really
need to
dumb.
give everybody on set goddamn.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, okay, have you watched any of Game of Thrones? Like, you know the places? I start naming the areas. Okay. So,
I know,
Daenerys is in the desert for most of the series. They actually went and filmed it in the desert. They filmed all the stuff in the north in Ireland, because it's in the north. The stuff where they're in, like, the snowy fields, they literally freaking went to Greenland to film it.
Wow.
Because snowy fields. They filmed the capital because it's by a beautiful coastline, just the capital, King's Landing. They filmed that in Croatia because it has beautiful coastlines.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so we're talking 4 different land masses that they're filming. Like they filmed that thing in like 2 different continents plus like 1 off island. Or not? What the fuck do you call Greenland? It's just an off island, like off-continent island, I should say. I guess is the proper way of wording that. Oh no! I have 2 melee weapons. Oh, I can't be a bitch. I gotta do this. Oh yeah.
Nice.
What do I do though?
Enemies release toxic clouds when they die. 30 damage.
I'll take the faster weapon.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll die in 1 hit.
Oh, you could. Holy
Yeah,
shit.
fuck that.
Oh, I thought it
Can't
would
bur-
be a
yeah, I
perfect
thought I
hole.
could throw it through there.
Alright, not bad.
Okay. I'm not gonna continue ranting about Game
Yeah.
of Thrones and Walking Dead and cliffhangers.
We should get these guys. Oh,
What's up?
wow.
But yeah, for the love of God, everyone, please watch Better Call Saul. If I get killed by a bat, I'm gonna be so mad.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, you can throw it while I'm on the chain.
I don't know.
Good to know. How many more do we need? 3?
3, yeah. That's not. You're not making that shot.
Why are there so many bats?
Ooh.
Oh. Nope.
Holy fuck.
Oh, I just don't want to. Damn it.
Nice.
I was like, I don't want to run into a bat. Ah,
Hey,
curse lifted.
You did it.
Worth it. Took the gamble and won.
Not bad.
Yeah, and we will see if I can make it out of this level next time on Dead Cells.